Here we are once again on Yonkers Voice, and this time around we have Chief Hodges. Now, I call him Chief Hodges because I met him a few years back, and I'm used to call him Chief Hodges, even though he's no longer with the police department because he retired. Now he's enjoying life, like most of us. But Chief Hodges is no stranger to serving the community. He served in the past and is looking to continue to serve if he's elected councilman of the 6th district. Chief, thank you for taking the time to be here today.
Thanks, Ben. And you know what? It's really good to be here with you again. I remember years ago when Yonkers Voice was relatively new and you had very few followers, and now you have such a great following and you're doing such a great job for the community. So thank you for having me.
No doubt, Yonkers Voice has grown, how you say it?
Grown, sure.
Has grown, and we serve the community. We show the things that most mainstream news don't, because we are very rapid. We react very quickly. We are in the community. But we're here to talk about you, Chief. We're here to talk about your campaign. Now, first of all, tell me what made you run for the position, Chief?
So, as you know, I was a police officer for 34 years in the city of Yonkers, and you know, I had a wonderful career, an amazing career. I held pretty much every position in the police department, and that afforded me the ability to go out and see every bit of the community here in Yonkers. My latest role, my role before I retired, was Chief of Patrol, and I took it upon myself to always wear a uniform. I thought that we should wear the Yonkers Police Department, we should go out, see the community. So I would go to different neighborhoods during the day and visit with people. And what I really thought was amazing is people want to be heard. They want someone to listen to them, they want to be heard. And from the police at that time, I was the ears for them. I would listen to them and I would work on getting results for them. Every area in the city needs to be policed a little differently, just like in politics. You know, people need different things in the community. So I felt after I retired, I said, I'm full of energy and I'm full of passion. Let me continue this and let me look into getting into politics. And I've been a lifelong Yonkers resident. I was raised on Carroll Avenue in very humble beginnings in Southwest Yonkers. And from an early age, you know, I learned about the work ethic. I learned about having morals and treating people properly. I used to shine shoes on Carroll Avenue and South Broadway and down at the subway station. And I had a paper route and I worked in a gas station. And I did all those things in the community where you get to know people and you get to know what they're about. You get to know what their wants and needs are. And I stayed in Yonkers, and I raised my family in Yonkers, and I still, you know, I live here. I live off Palmer Road for the last 25 years. And I love this city so much. I love the history of it. I love the expansion of it. I love to go down to the waterfront. I love to see what's going on and see how the diversity in this city is booming and how we have great relationship with a lot of people. Do we have challenges? Of course we have a lot of challenges, but I just feel that I have boundless energy. My wife even tells me, she goes, when are you going to stop? You just don't stop. You're always doing something. You're always running around. So I feel I'm still at a point in my life where I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of passion for people. I've always been the person there to help someone else. So I just feel it's a good time in my life to take this on.
So Chief, I ask this question to all the candidates. How did you get involved with the community? To you, I'm not going to ask you, because we all know that you've been serving the community for over what, 20, 25 years? 35 years. And you're very engaged and in tune with the community. I hear nothing but good things about you. You know, I always like to put the people I interview in a little spot here and there. But I'm having difficulty in putting you in the spot because I know that you've been working with the community for a long time. And in the entire community, the Latino community, the American community, the Italian community. But Go ahead.
You know what? I think it's, and this is pretty apropos, we're here at Dos Marias, and my good friend Alfonso is the owner here. And Alfonso and I became friends many years ago. And we became friends because there were issues in this area. There were a lot of problems with some gang issues and some groups that weren't getting along. And it just caused a lot of issues with quality of life. And not only did we take care of the problem, but we built a community. We built a friendship with the police department, with the Mexican Chamber of Commerce. And not only that, we're friends now. We're good friends. Alfonso comes to my house, I go to his house. Like, that's what's amazing about Yonkers is we're a big city, but we're a small town. So unbeknownst to me, Ben, all along this journey in the police department, I've been preparing for politics. And I didn't know it until I retired, and I said, wait a second, I can still serve this community, I can still do good things, I'm still passionate about it. And I think my biggest thing, and I always hear politicians, they always have a buzzword, or they have a buzz phrase, and the people first, and that's all well and good, and I think that's wonderful. But I think, honestly, what people want to be heard, they want someone to say, hey, wait a second, can I talk to you about this? I have an issue with this. This hasn't been resolved in years, and we just keep going to the same well over and over, and we keep saying, oh, we'll work on it, we'll do this. We need results, and I think I'm a results-oriented person. I get things done. I'm passionate about it, and again, like, I have a track record. I have a track record of always being there for people and getting results.
Now, Chief, what is your platform? Okay, I'm sure that the reason why you want to run is because you believe that you can do a better job than the person who's there. Because otherwise, why run?
Right.
Just settle for what you're getting, right? So what would be the difference between you and your opposition?
So I think the big difference is my passion. I think that I am passionate about a lot of things. I don't let anything go. If somebody, it's a typical thing, like Palmer Road has been closed from Halliday to Miles Square Road. It's been closed for months. Con Edison's been doing work there, some type of work, we don't know. I want to be able to tell people, this road is going to be closed. We're doing this project. It's going to take this long. We apologize for any inconvenience. We're going to open the road during the rush hour. We're going to try to help the best we can. But it's just a simple thing like that kind of messes someone's morning up. And it's a huge road, Palmer Road. That it's well traveled. Just something like that. I feel that I will be out there. I'll be a voice for the people. I'll be telling people what they need to know, why they need to know it, why this is closed, the road is closed. So I think that I'm an information receiver and a giver. I'll be there for everybody. I'm passionate about it. I have no ill will against my opponent. I actually think he's a very nice guy. I just think I can do a better job because of my energy, my passion, my background, and my resolve.
Well, this should never be personal. This should be always about Yonkers and about what can we do for the city that we all love. Okay, and there is nothing wrong with running, at least in my opinion. Right. If I think I can do a good job, why not? Let the people decide who's going to be elected.
Yes.
Now, in your district, Chief, the 6th district, what do you think or what you see as being the most important issue that should be tackled as soon as you are elected, if elected?
So it's multifaceted. There's a lot of quality of life issues in the district that I currently live in. There's a big issue, and it goes back to the police days, big issue with speeding, serious car injuries, noise complaints. And it's been going on and on. And again, it's something that I just mentioned to you. These things are just problems that just never go away. That problem has to be solved. We have to work in conjunction with other law enforcement agencies to reduce speeding, to reduce serious car accidents. There's a stretch of road on Central Avenue that's extremely dangerous, that there are many serious car accidents with injuries. and we need to do something about it, but we can't talk about it. We need to do it. We need to put speed bumps, we need to put in additional red lights, we need to have traffic control, we need to have speed cameras, something like that. Quality of life is the first thing. Our parks, we have, a lot of our parks are in disrepair, and we just need help with them. I remember walking over to Welty Field when my daughter was young, and I would have to clean the park before I would allow her to play. You know, it's glass. And again, we talk about it, oh yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Let's get it done. Let's make sure these things are done. Let's take care of the people. This COVID-19 has hurt us so bad as a country, as a world. When things open up, we need to get people out. We need to get them out to open spaces to be healthy and also to exercise. We have a lot of different issues because people are stuck in the house. Let's get the parks going. Let's fix them. Let's repair them. Let's make them good for people. You always see parks are for people. Yeah, of course they are. So let's make them appropriate. Let's make them good for people.
Now, before we go much further, let me give a shout out to Dos Marias for giving us the place, where we conduct most of our interviews. Guys, Dos Marias, 200 New Main Street. This is the best, without a doubt, the best Mexican restaurant. I wouldn't say just Yonkers. I would go as far as Westchester County, and who knows, maybe New York State. Great food, Chief. Great drinks. We have Taco Tuesday or Tuesday tacos. Great. You can come, mingle, have fun, get to know other people, meet your old friends, whatever you decide. 2 floors, CDC rules are respected. They take serious the COVID-19, so they made sure they put dividers among the cubes. So come on down, have some good meal and a couple of drinks. Dos Marias, 200 New Main Street. Alfonso always tells me they have such a nice drinks that all they compete about is giving you the best wine and the best bourbon. They're not going to give you the cheapest one, but they will give you the best one. Let's go move forward, sir. What about crime in your area, District 6, in the 6th district? How is it?
So luckily, crime is very good in the 6th district. There are certain types of crime, which we call, in the police business, you call them petty crimes, but they're not petty if it happens to you. So if your car is broken into, if your shed is broken into, or if you have any other kind of issue like that, that's important to you right then. So the car break-ins is a huge thing. We need to do a full court press on car break-ins, and the police department does. I have to say they do an amazing job. The police officers in the city who I hold near and dear to my heart, I think they do a tremendous job. But you can always do better. And everything is measured. We measure where the car break-ins are happening, where, when, how, why. And a lot of times it's just open car doors that people go and they rummage through. So we have to educate people. Lock your door, have lights on in your driveway if possible. So we always have to educate people. But luckily the 6th district is very good when it comes to crime, and actually the whole city. The whole city is policed very well. We are very fortunate in this city to have an amazing police and fire department.
I agree with you, Chief. It's actions, not words, what really counts. Okay, I speak with most candidates, and before elections, there is promises. I'm going to look at this, I'm going to look at that. You can reach me if you have a problem. But that quickly fades out when they become elected. We have a promise from you that you will take actions and not just words to do whatever your district needs and whatever the city needs, because besides you being representative of the 6th district, if elected, you're still a resident of Yonkers.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know what, and that's what I mentioned before, that unbeknownst to me, I've been preparing for this type of job, because I do that. My track record and my background speaks for itself. I follow up on everything. I get results. I always have. And it's not because of being better than anybody or it's getting the people together, getting the right people to sit down, getting them to talk about issues, and listening to people. And I know I mentioned it a lot of times, but I remember walking in Getty Square as a police chief and just listening to people. But maybe someone's a lower socioeconomic group, maybe someone is not as educated, or maybe they have a PhD, but everybody should be listened to, everybody should be heard, every religious group, every activist, no matter who you are in the city, your voice should be heard. And I agree with you 100%, Ben. Actions speak a lot louder than words. It's a basic adage, we know that. I am a man of action, I always have been and always will.
You know, Chief, someone once told me that one of the ways to measure a great guy is not just the person that speaks well, it's the person that can engage with somebody else regardless of the level where they might be. You can engage with the CEO, you can engage with the janitor, you can engage with the mailman. And for the years that I know you, you are well known in Yonkers as the great communicator, as a good communicator, because you can engage with the people of Yonkers. And people love that. They love to be able to speak and to be understood and being heard. But we need more than that. We need actions to go with, I heard you, I understand you. Now, okay, now what you going to do about it?
And you know, Ben, even if there's something outlandish that can't be accomplished, if you listen to somebody and you make an attempt to try to make them feel better, try to get their point across, try to get what they're trying to accomplish, people will understand that and they'll realize. I mean, you know, we understand there's a budget in this city and we have to remain inside a budget, but there's a lot of different things that can be done to help people that are not budgetary, and that's what people want. They want to be helped, and quality of life issues, especially in the 6th district, are paramount. I was walking on Midland Avenue the other day, right after the big snowstorm, and some of the store owners were complaining about the big mounds of snow on the sidewalk. And you know, to me, I'll walk that area every time in a snowstorm, and I will make sure there's action. I'll call DPW. I've forged bonds with so many people through the years, and I know almost all the players in the city by their first name, and I'll call them and I'll pull on their heartstrings and say, please help these store owners out. That they need this, they need business. COVID has hurt our restaurant business a lot. Let's help these people, anything we can do. So again, like, I was out there walking on Midland Avenue and I talked to everybody and a lot of different problems and a lot of the same problems. But we had 20 inches of snow, and I think the city did a fantastic job with cleaning it up. It's the aftermath. It's those big mounds of snow that, and as a council person, if I'm elected, I'll be out there and I'll be the voice for the people. And I'll just shout a lot, and hopefully, you know, we'll get results.
Chief, I just received a message from somebody that went to grammar school with you.
Wow.
Was that, what, 35, 40 years ago?
Yeah, that's good. 40 years ago, yeah.
Went to grammar school with you and said that you've always been a great guy.
Ah, that's nice.
Now we have a question here from Len Holzberg. Very valid question. He's asking what areas are covered by the 6th district?
So the 6th district they're all interesting now the way they go, but it's Palmer Road, pretty much from Saunders High School north to the city line, and then it goes east into the Central Avenue and the Beach Hill area, and then down south onto Central Avenue, just a little bit north of Underhill Street.
Now, Chief, in your district, you don't have much of housing issues. Those are small housing, small dwellings, 3, 4 families.
Yes.
But still, Yonkers has a problem with housing. Yonkers has a problem with homeless. We understand that not every homeless don't have a job. Many do, but they cannot afford the rents in Yonkers. How do you see the issue with the homeless, housing, in the city?
Extremely complicated issues, and even in the police department, we dealt with the homeless problem. You know, the homeless, they're people, and a lot of them have mental health issues, but a lot of them are down on their luck. And it's incumbent upon us as just people to help them, to get housing for them. That's why I would be a huge proponent of affordable housing. I know they've already inducted a certain, I think it's 10% for any of the new buildings, but we should look to increase that even more. We should take care of the people that need housing, people that are down on their luck. It's a huge, huge issue nationwide, worldwide, but in Yonkers, we're a special breed here. We help each other out, and I think we need to do that more. We need to set up different shelters, and we also need to help people graduate from housing projects. We shouldn't just say, okay, here's housing for you, good luck, have a good, we need to build on that. We need to build careers. We need to start vocational schools again. A big thing for me is a trade. I wish I had a trade growing up. Thank God my parents were passionate about us reading as children, as kids, and it helped me through the promotional process on the police department. But having a trade is invaluable. And I think if we help people through, not just get them housing, not just say, okay, we fulfilled the government need, the federal government said you have to have housing. Let's go steps further and help people to progress and become citizens. I grew up so poor on Carroll Avenue, we didn't really have much of anything, but we had work ethics and we had morals. And my parents pushed us just to do a little bit more. And I think that's what we need to do. And I'm a big proponent of the PAL and to have reading programs at the PAL. I've been in talks with them to start some reading comprehension programs.
Now, just before we go forward, let's say that you are a council person today, and as you know, there is conversations going on in regards to housing to increase it from 10% to 20%. Realistically, some people are saying 20% is a no-go. But some members of the council believe that there is a go, and we already have 4 votes in favor. If you were a council person, how would you vote, sir?
Well, I would have to look at the actual numbers. So you know, I'd need to see the formula and how it works into our population to see will that help us? Will that get us through the threshold? Will that solve a lot of the homeless problem? So I can't answer it without having all the particulars, but I would be a very big proponent of housing as much as that we can afford to do, because just as a human being, not as a politician or as a police officer, housing should be a basic need for people, housing and education. So I can't tell you how I'd vote because I don't know the numbers, but I would definitely be a proponent of as much housing as possible.
On your list of priorities, where would mental illness be?
So mental illness is, you know what, it's funny because it always comes back to some aspect in the police. So I worked in our emergency service department for about 9 years, and we would deal with, we called them emotionally disturbed persons at the time. And I'll tell you, it's a serious problem that I don't think is addressed properly. You know, we had the hospitalization for people with mental challenges, and a lot of the hospitals closed. Again, it's more of a complicated issue, but mental health is a huge issue. It's a huge issue here in Southwest Yonkers that needs to be addressed daily. And I'm telling, we had amazing people that worked for the Westchester County Department of Social Services. I won't mention them by name, but they were so passionate about this job. You have to bring the people that are passionate about that type of work. You have to almost like garner them and say, please, we need you. You have the ability to work with mentally unstable people and help them through these ordeals. But mental health is a huge problem, and it breeds a lot of crime too. And a lot of times now you're arresting people for crimes, but they actually need psychological help. So, it's a multifaceted issue.
Now, Chief, most of us, or all of us, know that the homeless issue is actually a county issue. But we also know that the homeless are here in Yonkers, so it is a city issue.
Yes.
Now, is that a problem between the city and county, tackling this problem and resolve it?
Yeah, the county was always responsible for a lot of the mental health. But you're right. I mean, of course, the city has to step in and help out also, and they do. And the police department is amazing. We as you know, I was the commanding officer of our crisis negotiation team for many years, and it's almost it goes into another topic you're probably going to bring up.
So let's move into it.
So when a police officer goes to a scene and somebody's acting out or agitated, a lot of times that can escalate, and we've seen that escalate, and we've seen, where there's allegations of police brutality and things like that. I'm sure we were going to go into that topic. So this is where, when I ran the crisis negotiation team, we had 2 people on the crisis negotiation team when I started 20 years ago. We have 22 when I retired. And what we did is we took every group, we took every cultural, ethnic group, religious group. We had a girl who did sign language. So when you're in some kind of stress or you need help, you're reaching out for help, we would de-escalate that. And a lot of times we have been so successful with talking people down from harming themselves, talking them down from harming others. So this is a big thing with mental health, where we can talk to people, de-escalate them. Crisis prevention is all over now. All major hospitals use it. So we need to even do that more. And the city of Yonkers has been doing it, and the police department's been doing it for years. But that's always been my passion. Talk to people, see what they're all about, see how we can help them, and that will reduce. It may not reduce mental illness, but it will help people with mental illness from getting in trouble with the law, and will also reduce allegations of police brutality.
Well, Chief, I really didn't want to go into police brutality, but you made me do it. Okay. But at the same time, you as an ex-police officer, I don't want you to go too much into policies of the police department, so we are going to speak in general terms. De-escalation is very important, but the people of Yonkers feel like the police very often escalates instead of de-escalates. Of course, if I speak to some people in the police department, they might tell me that is not true. But perception very often becomes reality. We also have the police reform going on. How do you see police reform, escalation, de-escalation, police engagement in the city of Yonkers? Because at the end of the day, you are going to be representing Yonkers. You have a district, but you are going to be a council person in Yonkers.
So first, I would qualify this by saying the Yonkers Police Department is probably one of the best police departments in the state, or maybe even the country. Extremely well trained, extremely adept at doing their job. So that being said,
Chief, let's hold right there.
Sure.
Because we have to put in a word, and I want the people to stay there waiting for what is the chief. No, I'm learning a couple techniques with this major. Things don't happen just for the hell of it.
Okay.
Guys, a word from our sponsor, Dos Marias, 200 New Main Street. The restaurant is not the cheapest one, but guess what? It's the best one. Okay. And Alfonso is more interested, Alfonso Alvarez is more interested in giving you the best experience, the best Mexican food, not just Yonkers, not just county, but statewide. So come on down, great drinks, great ambiance, music, and as you guys know, we are taking COVID-19 extremely serious, and so is the establishment. So that is divided, the partitions between the tables. They only allow a certain amount of people here. Masks are required if you're not eating. So come on down, and support your local business. Shout out for Las Dos Marias, and don't forget to follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. They're on it. The menu are there. Check it out. Come on down here, taste it, and let us know how you think. Go ahead, Chief.
So again, the Yonkers Police Department is one of the greatest police departments, and I had the great honor to serve in that department for so many years. But there's always room for improvement. And what I've noticed in the police department is you get, a young person, 20 years old, they haven't met that maturity level yet. So what I think, and I would push for, is just more training every year, de-escalation training, teach people how to talk to people. Again, sometimes people get ramped up and it gets escalated very quickly, and that's when there's problems. But if we can continue to train our people, and we continue to watch over them, and continue to retrain or discipline people when necessary, and we'll have the best police department. And I've seen departments that lack in that. I'll never mention their name, but they're not like the Yonkers Police. The Yonkers Police Department is very well trained, but it could always be better. And I think police reform is necessary. It's necessary all over the country. Defunding the police is that's a different type story. I think we need to fund our police department properly and train them properly. But all in all, this is an amazing police department.
Well, thank you, Chief, and I agree with you. And there is always room for improvement, okay? I think you and I had this conversation in the past. I never heard anyone from the police department saying that we have a perfect police department, but I think we have a better police department than many police departments across the nation.
Absolutely.
That we do. Now, education, Chief. What about education? There is a lot of talk about the formula. Yonkers doesn't get a fair share of the money for school programs, for the teachers. We are getting the short end of this stick. So how you see that, sir?
So you know what? This is another one. This is one of those arguments been going on and on. You hear about the formula since I'm a little kid. I've been hearing about this formula. We need action, and we need to get the proper funding for our schools, and we need to really push for our children to excel. The only caveat I have is vocational schools. I'm a big proponent of vocational schools. I don't think that everyone should go to college, and I don't think that everyone is meant to be a physician or a lawyer. But some people have an amazing ability with their hands or a trade, and there's great careers out there. There's great you can make a great living, and we need that. We need that type of work. So that's the formula. Is the formula. I know the mayor. I feel bad that he goes to Albany and he tries to do the best he can for us and get the monies that we deserve. And I know our state senate. Shelley Mayer and Andrea Stewart-Cousin, I know they do the best. I know they're passionate for Yonkers and they want the best for us. But we just have to always strive better, strive for more.
Now, on your district, if you win, there is a charter school there now at this point, because until the permanent one is put in production. How do you see charter schools?
I had a great opportunity to go to the charter school, the one on Warburton Avenue, and I was a guest speaker there for one of the graduations. And I'll tell you, I was very impressed with the way the children and the young adults were learning there. The programs were very good. I like the whole uniform. I mean, I guess the jury's out on that but I always like that. I feel like if you're in a uniform and you're a little bit more disciplined and attentive in class. So I was impressed with the charter school. But again, it's a much bigger picture. It's something that you have to really look into. You have to say, is it valuable for every community? Is it valuable all over the city? Should it just be for certain, have a charter school? So there's too many variables to make a definitive answer on it.
How you think about the current political situation in Yonkers? What I mean by it is, on these last elections, we saw people that being elected, people that maybe we didn't think would be elected. There is a change of the guard in Yonkers. Things are changing. I don't know if it's because of the BLM awareness, vote black or vote minority. I don't know, but things are changing. We have great people in Yonkers, young guys, highly intelligent, that might be the future of Yonkers. What do you think about the changes that we are seeing, sir?
They always say positive change is good. We have an amazing group of young people, and you're right, a lot of young people coming out and running for office now. I promote that. I think that's amazing. I like the fact that they're doing that. I like the fact that there's competition. We should have competition. It makes people perform at their highest level. So any type of competition is always going to help people perform better. So I applaud that, and I think it's wonderful. My personal view is I would never be a career politician. I've had a career. This for me would be just my passion for people. I love people. I enjoy listening to them, hearing them, trying to get results for them. So it's a different, at this point in my life, I just want to do this to do good for people. I don't want to, this would never be a career for me.
Now, Chief, if people that wants to support you, do you have a social platform? When is your party kickoffs going to take place? How can people follow you? Give us anything, because this is the time there is thousands of people watching you, okay? And people, some of them might say, I want to go and see his platform. I want to visit his website if he has one, or Facebook, or Instagram, and learn more about you.
So what I'd like to do is, I'm doing a kickoff on February 25th, right up the street here at Castle Royale. We can only accommodate 50 people. We're actually in the midst of trying to do a virtual and a live, so everything is kind of fluid right now. Of course, with COVID, things are a little different. If you don't mind, if I could get you that information, and if you would provide it for the viewers, when it's done, it should be completed by tomorrow. I'll have all of that, the website and everything finished for you. But the kickoff is February 25th. At the Castle Royale, right up the street here, from 6 to 9.
You know, the COVID changed everything, okay? And hopefully things will go back to normal, but God knows when. But because of COVID, like you said, there will be restrictions on how many people can be there. But nevertheless, those that support you might want to donate to your campaign. So provide us with the link.
I will.
So we can put it on the page, and whoever wants to donate can click and make the whatever donation they want to.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that.
Well, Chief, we had to come to an end sooner or later. I don't know if there is anything else that you would like to tell the people of Yonkers. This is it. You know, they are watching you.
So the only thing I would end with is, again, my name's Tim Hodges. I'm running for the 6th District Council here in Yonkers, New York. I'm a lifelong resident of Yonkers. I'm passionate about my community, my city, my friends, my neighborhoods. I'm here to help people. I'm here to be passionate and get things resolved, issues resolved, and I will be a 24/7 council person if I am elected.
Well, thank you guys for watching. And once again, don't forget, if you are in the mood for Mexican food, this is a place to come. 200 New Main Street. Not all Mexican food restaurants are created equal. And the way that you're gonna find out is by coming down here. Come down here, have some tacos, have a bottle of whiskey, a bottle of fine wine, mingle, mix. Come and try the best. Then you can decide where is the best Mexican food in Yonkers County and state. Thank you for watching. until next time. And Chief, thank you for taking the time to
Thank
sit
you,
down
Ben.
with us.
Thanks for
And we
having me.
will talk again before the election is it's on. But,
Thank
oh, one thing, you have a primary, sir?
I'm not sure if I'm going to have a primary. That's a possibility. So if I do have a primary, maybe I could come on before that, or maybe even have a debate or whatever. Whatever works for you.
So as of the moment, we don't know if there is a primary or not.
Not right away.
Guys, stay tuned. We will let you know. Until next time.